Hello, it's Sarah from Don't Lie to Me. Imagine you're sitting in your living room, minding your own business, and you find out that someone has been watching you. Not a creepy neighbor with binoculars, the police. They've been recording every car that drives down your street, every license plate, every time you leave your house, every time you come home. And nobody asked you. Nobody asked your mayor. Nobody asked your city council. If you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Keep it friendly in the comments. Let's get into it. Welcome to Chetek, Wisconsin. Population 2,200 people. That's it. 2,200 people. And the police chief decided they all needed to be under surveillance. His name is Ron Ambrosiaitis. He's the police chief in Chetek, and in late May, he bought 2 flock safety cameras and had them bolted to poles at the busy Quick Trip intersection. He paid for them out of his department's operating budget. No vote. No discussion. No public notice. Just 2 cameras quietly watching everyone day and night, reading every license plate that passes by. Now here's where it gets interesting. When the mayor, Jeff Martin, found out, did he demand answers? Did he demand the cameras come down? Did he say, hold on, we live in a democracy. You can't just put up surveillance equipment without telling anyone? No, he said this, and I want you to really let this sink in. The mayor said the police chief, quote, has the right. He said the chief didn't have to come to me or the council and ask permission. It's part of his operating budget. The mayor of a town of 2,000 people just told you that the police can install whatever surveillance equipment they want, wherever they want, without asking anyone. He sees nothing wrong with this. He said the chief did, quote, nothing illegal or wrong. Nothing wrong? Secret cameras, no public debate, no vote. Nothing wrong. Now, at a city council meeting on June 9th, residents finally got to hear about the cameras. And you'd think the chief would be a little sheepish, right? Maybe a little apologetic that he'd been caught. Not Ron Ambrosiaitis. When citizens stood up and criticized the cameras, he had what reporters politely called an outburst. He yelled at the people who pay his salary for daring to question him. He has since, quote, apologized. I'm sure it was very sincere. But here's what I want you to understand. This is not about one police chief in one small town. This is a company called Flock Safety, and they are everywhere. As of last year, 221 law enforcement agencies in Wisconsin alone are using flock cameras. That's just one state. Nationwide, it's thousands of agencies, tens of thousands of cameras, all feeding into a massive database that tracks where every car goes, when, and how often. And Flock says their cameras don't track people. They say that publicly over and over. We don't track people, we read license plates. But Investigate TV got hold of Flock's own training videos earlier this summer, and you know what those videos show? Police using the system to track suspects and, I'm quoting here, from location to location to location. That's not reading a license plate. That's tracking a person's movements. That's building a travel history. That's surveillance. And it gets worse. Flock's newest camera, called the Condor, doesn't just read license plates. It uses artificial intelligence to detect and follow individual people on foot, pedestrians. You walking down the street, the AI locks on and follows you. But sure, we don't track people. They're lying to you. They know they're lying to you, and they know that you know they're lying to you. Now, I want to tell you about something that happened at a city council hearing, and this perfectly captures the hypocrisy of the people pushing these cameras. An independent journalist showed up to a council meeting where they were discussing the use of flock and axon surveillance cameras. He brought recording equipment, standard stuff. He's a journalist. He records things. That's literally the job. Now, you'd think the council members who support surveillance cameras would be totally fine being recorded, right? They think cameras everywhere are a great idea. They think people who object to being watched have something to hide. So this should be no problem at all. Wrong. They panicked. One council member said, quote, "We weren't notified about it." Another said it was, quote, "house rules." They were scrambling, looking at each other, trying to figure out how to get out of being on camera. The journalist's girlfriend walked up to one of them and politely asked him to put on a microphone, and he looked deeply uncomfortable. She said to him, and this is perfect, "So you know how we feel about the flock cameras, right?" And he went quiet because he understood exactly what she was saying. She said, "We feel the same way. We don't want to be recorded either." "Now you know how we feel." That's what she said without saying it. You don't want a camera in your face. You don't want someone recording you without your permission. You want to know about it beforehand. You want to have a say in whether it happens. Imagine that. Imagine having that basic courtesy extended to you by the people who are voting to put cameras on every street in your town. There's a classic Seinfeld episode where a telemarketer calls Jerry, and Jerry asks if he can have the telemarketer's home number to call him back later. The telemarketer says no, and Jerry says, "Well, why? You don't want people calling you at home?" "Now you know how I feel." And he hangs up. That's what this is. The people who want to put cameras everywhere, who vote to install them, who say it's for your safety, they don't want cameras pointed at them. The ones who opposed the surveillance cameras, they were completely fine being recorded. They went on camera without a problem because they had nothing to hide and nothing to fear. Isn't that interesting? The people who support surveillance are the ones who feel uncomfortable being watched. The people who oppose it don't mind at all. That tells you everything you need to know about who actually has something to hide in this equation. And here's the kicker. Some Wisconsin communities are actually fighting back. Dane County, Sturgeon Bay, Oshkosh, Kaukauna. They've all cancelled their flock contracts. Citizens showed up at public hearings, raised hell, and got the cameras removed. That's democracy working. That's what's supposed to happen. But in Chetek, the police chief just put them up without asking, and the mayor said he had every right to do it. The people who objected got yelled at by the chief, and then the chief issued one of those non-apology apologies. That means absolutely nothing. So let me ask you something. If the police can install surveillance cameras in your neighborhood without telling you, without telling your elected representatives, without any vote or debate or public input, at what point do we stop pretending this is a free country? When the police can watch you and you can't watch them back, and the people who are supposed to oversee them say, "He has the right." What exactly do you call that? Because I know what I call it. They say it's for safety. They always say it's for safety. Every single time a new surveillance tool is deployed, the magic word is safety. And if you question it, you must be soft on crime. You must want criminals to run free. That's the trick. That's how they get you to trade your freedom for a feeling. And here's the thing. There's a Fourth Amendment in this country. It protects you from unreasonable searches. It says the government can't just watch you without cause, without a warrant, without justification. But somehow we've let them build a surveillance network that tracks every car, every movement, every trip, every day. And they don't need a warrant for any of it. They don't need cause. They don't need suspicion. They just point a camera at your street and press record. 2,200 people in Chetek, Wisconsin, and their police chief decided, all on his own, that they needed to be watched. And their mayor said that was fine. How long before it's your town? How long before it's your street? That's all for today. If you want more content like this, subscribe and hit the bell. Like the video if it made you think. Leave a comment. Do you have flock cameras in your neighborhood? Did anyone ask you? Check the description for sources, including the WEAU report, the Investigate TV investigation, and the Wisconsin Communities Fighting Back. Read them yourself. Don't take my word for it. Don't take their word for it either. I'm Sarah, and they're lying to you. Take care of each other.